Some of the most dangerous injuries seen today in professional sports and in military combat are a class of closed head injuries, referred to as mild traumatic brain injuries, or MTBIs. The most common type of MTBI is the concussion. Mild traumatic brain injuries are part of a very serious and seemingly invisible epidemic, with an estimated 1.6 to 3.8 million sports-related and recreation-related concussions happening in the U.S. each year. A concussion or a mild traumatic brain injury occurs when a force on the body jostles the brain inside the head, causing it to strike inside the skull. Movement within the skull bruises brain tissue, damages axons, part of the nerve cell, and tears blood vessels. There are a great deal of psychological side effects and changes that are associated with concussions. Regular post-concussion syndrome symptoms include fatigue, irritability, issues with attention, memory loss, especially short-term memory loss, anxiety, and even depression. Research has now shown that it is possible for an individual with a history of repetitive MTBIs to show these same symptoms, but to an extreme degree. In the last 20 years, researchers have been investigating the effects of repetitive MTBIs, more specifically studying their relationship to neurodegeneration, a term used to describe the loss of structure or function of key parts of the brain, including death of neurons. Dr. Cantu, Dr. McKee, Dr. Stern, and Dr. Goldstein of Boston University have devoted their lives to understanding chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE, a neurodegenerative disease found in individuals with a history of repetitive head injury. Originally referred to as dementia pugilistica, or punch-drunk syndrome, CTE has been known to affect boxers since the 1920s. CTE is characterized by a progressive neurodegeneration and a buildup of an abnormal protein called tau. Currently, there is no way to diagnose or confirm CTE in a living patient, as the abnormalities, such as the buildup of tau, can only be seen post-mortem and under a microscope for close examination. Two of the most vulnerable populations scientists are currently studying are athletes and military personnel. Using video recordings and accelerometer-equipped football helmets, a group of neuroscientists at the University of North Carolina counted a grand total of 537 hits to the head during one football season for a defensive end player. In addition to the hundreds of hits a football player will receive in their career, blast forces from IED explosions experienced regularly in combat have the potential to cause concussions, or MTBIs. Between the years of 2001 and 2014, 230,000 soldiers and veterans were identified as suffering from mild traumatic brain injury, mostly as a result of exposure to blast events, deeming MTBIs as a signature injury of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. While CTE research is still in its early phases, scientists do know that the neurodegeneration as a result of CTE is often associated with life-changing symptoms, such as memory loss, confusion, impaired judgment, impulse control problems, aggression, depression, suicidality, Parkinsonism, and eventually progressive dementia. These kinds of symptoms have been seen in multiple professional athletes who are later confirmed to have CTE. Between the years of 2008 and 2010, the bodies of 12 former professional American football players underwent post-mortem evaluations for CTE, all of them showing evidence of the disease. Tragic deaths from drug overdose and suicide are a common consequence of CTE. Dave Duerson, an NFL safety, shot himself in the chest and left a suicide note requesting that his brain be donated to science after struggling for years with headaches, memory problems, confusion, and depression. Derek Bugard, an NHL enforcer, accidentally overdosed on drugs after a series of surgeries for broken noses, sustained through hits to the face and head, caused him to become addicted to prescription painkillers. A recent study using mice demonstrated similar behavioral and cognitive problems that are seen in individuals with CTE. Researchers simulated the types of repeated head injuries that occur in sports and then observed and recorded the mice as they completed numerous tasks to evaluate their behavior. The results of this study resemble the spectrum of neurobehavioral problems that have been reported and observed in individuals who have sustained multiple MTBIs and those who are subsequently diagnosed with CTE, including behaviors such as poor judgment, risk-taking, and depression. While this study is one of the first of its kind, it serves as a strong model for future research that analyzes the relationship between repeated head injury and CTE. From the elementary school level to the professional level, concussions and closed head injuries threaten the safety of millions of people each day. However, there are promises in CTE research. There are efforts being made to regulate head injury exposure, concussion screening, and prevention. With an onset of life-altering and sometimes life-terminating symptoms associated with repeated head trauma and neurodegeneration, suicide, drug dependency, or violence should not be viewed as a choice. These tragic outcomes are symptoms of a larger issue that researchers are working to define.